Hey there, West Michigan meteorologist Will Haney here, jumping into our digital studio just to discuss some of what's coming in the weekend ahead. We have a kind of busy forecast, nothing super eventful, but we do have some things to talk about. Some sunshine returning for Saturday, and then eventually some snow showers in the second half of the weekend ahead. I'm just going to give this a few seconds to let some folks mosey on into the room, and once that happens, I will get this party started on a Friday night. Hopefully everyone is enjoying their holiday festivities. I know it's kind of a weird week with a lot of people out of work, and just kind of enjoying some time, hopefully off or with family. Hello, Graham. Good evening to you, and hello, Tyler Evans. What's up? All right, I'm going to share this to my page really fast. In theory, I'm sharing it fast. Let's see. All right. All righty. That was pretty fast. That was adequately fast. Okay. So right now, today, it was a pretty yucky day. You probably didn't need me to tell you that. There was some very gray skies, some rain throughout much of the day. Some of that rain is still out there. It's almost just like a mist, though, that's coming down, which we'll get to here in just a moment. You can see as we look live on the left portion of your screen at a few locations, temperatures are above freezing. So we're not worried about a flash freeze scenario or anything like that. Temperatures will likely drop just below freezing tonight, but it's not likely going to be long enough, fast enough where we're going to see a flash freeze sort of a scenario. Marshall, I think, is probably seeing some of that mist, and probably Kalamazoo as well. What's interesting is the sky is already clearing very rapidly from north to south. So if you notice that, South Haven and Holland already reporting a more clear sky. So there is some drier air working its way in from the northwest. This is a reassuring sign that we should see at least some sunshine for tomorrow. Now, one thing I will be paying attention to is this little band of clouds that you kind of see up there to our north, streaming off of Lake Superior. Some of this could migrate a bit farther south overnight through early tomorrow morning. So I'm a little less optimistic that we'll have a mostly sunny sky tomorrow. I think we'll have at least a few clouds in play. But nonetheless, I do think we should see at the very least some sunshine tomorrow. There just could be a little bit of cloud cover kind of mixing in at times. Hello, Mike Lewis. Happy holidays to you. My evening is going pretty well, Tyler, minus the fact that my daughter at home is she's a little under the weather. So we're battling that a little bit. But other than that, it's been good. She's okay. It's nothing major. She just got like some sort of a cold or virus or something. So yeah, she's just a little bit of a hot mess express at home. But I was able to run home and see her at least. Graham, it feels cold outside. I know it does kind of feel cold outside, Graham, but what's funny is this really isn't that bad by December standards. I think the moisture in the air, the fact that it's just kind of wet, adds to the cold factor, if you will. So I mentioned that we have some mist coming down. So where you see visibilities around 2 miles, like Battle Creek, Three Rivers, Sturgis, Coldwater, that's not necessarily fog. That's more of a mist that's coming down still. But you notice unobstructed visibility, that 10 miles visibility farther north, that's the clear skies working their way farther south. Temperature-wise, that also has an effect, right? We lose that blanket of cloud cover. With that, temperatures are able to cool off faster. So on a cloudy night, our temperatures don't drop as much as a clear night. And so we're already starting to see the effect of that more clear sky farther north versus farther south, where we still have the very low blanket of cloud cover. All right, really quickly, I do want to jump in to touch on a few things. By the way, if you do have a clear sky already, so if you're north of like Kalamazoo County up towards Allegan, Berry County, certainly Ottawa, Kent County, go check out the moon. We haven't really been able to see it much, but it's still mostly full. It's about 90% illuminated. The cold moon is out tonight. So you can check that out tonight. All right. I want to jump in here and just go to hour by hour, and then we're going to touch on the potential again for some snow on Sunday. It's not going to be much in a nutshell. probably a grassy coating, which we'll get to here in just a second. We're also going to take a look at kind of the extended outlook and how it's not looking all that impressive as far as any significant cold or snow. So here's hour by hour. You're going to see, again, just a few clouds kind of lingering tomorrow morning. I think our best opportunity for some sunshine is hopefully the early to mid-afternoon. You can kind of see there, though, that our models now are picking up on a little bit more cloud cover than they once were. So I don't think it's necessarily going to be overcast like it's been the last couple of days, obviously, but we just may have a little bit more clouds than originally thought. But still, I think sun will win out in the equation. And with that, temperatures are going to stay pretty mild. Still warm into the low 40s for your Saturday. So New Year's weekend, here's how it shakes out. Low 40s tomorrow, middle 30s on Sunday. Clouds are back in the picture. We're going to have a disturbance dropping in from the northwest on Sunday, and it will bring a quick batch of some snow showers. Given that temperatures are going to be above freezing at snow's onset and really throughout much of the duration of the snow, not really expecting much in the way of impacts. Our ground is also still not really frozen, which is just kind of crazy. So anyways, I don't really think it'll be all that impactful. We could see just a coating maybe on your deck on some elevated surfaces, but mainly I think just the grass, like a slushy coating, is kind of what I think at best looks possible on Sunday. So we do have a great event happening in downtown Kalamazoo. If you have never been, I think you can still buy the little buttons for it. I think it's only like $7, by the way, but I went one of my first years here, and it's the New Year's Fest in downtown Kalamazoo. It's a really great family-friendly event. They have basically like rotating around the clock performers, musicians. They have like improv. They have comedians. A few years ago, I'm trying to think. They had a Rod Stewart impersonator. I don't know if the Rod Stewart impersonator, Donnie Rod, shout out Donnie Rod. If anyone knows Donnie Rod, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if he's back this year. I'm not promising Donnie Rod is there, but I will say he puts on a good show. But anyways, needless to say, it is a great event if you've never been. It's happening in downtown Kalamazoo from about 6 to midnight. It's a lot of fun, family friendly. All right. So this is where our temperatures are going, by the way. So today and tomorrow, low 40s. Keep in mind our average high right now is at about 33 degrees. So it kind of speaks to just how mild this December has been. We will likely end the month either in a very close third or possibly second place for the warmest December on record in Kalamazoo. It will probably end up as the second warmest on record in Grand Rapids. The climate data is actually even more extensive up in Grand Rapids. It goes back a little farther, and there's a little less missing months than Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo is still pretty reliable. But yeah, pretty remarkable. It's also going to be one of the least snowy, especially in Grand Rapids. We've seen about 2¼ inches of snow in the month of December. I think that was on December 18th. It was what was that? I think it was like a Monday. If that was a Monday. Let's see. Is my brain serving? Okay, yeah. It was on December 18th because that was a Monday, and that's what I'm remembering. So anyways, but some parts of our area got up to, I think, like 6, 7, 8 inches that day up in like the Plainwell at Seago area. I'm going to jump ahead really quickly to our 7-day forecast just to show you all what's happening. So next week, after a little dose of snow on Sunday and Monday, really honestly Sunday, I think if anything, it's just like a flurry early Monday morning. Weather is smooth sailing into next week. So we'll be talking about that and some of the kind of extended outlook tonight at 10 and 11. But yeah, here's just to kind of reiterate my point. So this is model snowfall for Sunday. And this is not a big event by any means. This is going to be a clipper system kind of swinging through here. Doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with. And so for that reason, it's about a trace to an inch at best, but more realistically, probably a trace to about ½ an inch at best. So that's just going to be enough to maybe coat the grass, essentially is what I'm saying. Good evening, Carol in Sturgis. I'm sorry I have not been reading your comments. Lion Super Bowl says Fuda Boko. Tyler, go blue. Yeah, big game coming up on Monday. I'm going to be working. I'll be working Monday night And so I'm going to have a little double duty action with the game and my forecast going on. Man, Keith and Melissa, that's a hot take right there from the pug lovers. I would rather rain than snow any day. I hate snow. It's a hot take. Personally, while it's great that we don't have to deal with the snow in a way, right? It's not really great. There's a lot of reasons why this December is not good news. There's a lot of industry. There's a lot of industry in Michigan kind of built on the winter. And so when we have these freakishly warm Decembers, Bittersweet, we just talked to them yesterday. They've opened, I think, 2 days this season, and it was in November. They have not opened in December, which in talking to them, that's never happened in their history, that they've never been able to open during the month of December. A huge part of that, by the way, is the fact that even our overnight lows have only they've fallen below freezing. I think I'm trying to do some math in my head. So they've stayed warmer than freezing 17 days this month in Kalamazoo. So just think about that. Our overnight lows in December, they average in the lower to mid 20s. This month, we've only there have been 17 days where we haven't even dropped below freezing, which is pretty remarkable. So that's likely going to be probably in like the top 5 as far as another random climate stat, as far as the most amount of days above freezing during the month of December. So that, of course, is what's inflated the numbers for the month overall. I do want to mention, while we kind of wrap this up, this is going to be a shameless plug, to go on our website. Watch this, y'all. You ready? Fancy. Okay. This is WWMT.com. If you've never been to it, I highly recommend you check it out. It's a great website. They share like news and stuff. It's great. Weather, sports. All right. So you go to our website, and right on the homepage is going to be this killer article. Major ice storm, wildfire smoke, tornadoes, recapping 2023's biggest weather stories. I spent a lot of time putting this together. What was interesting is when I was pitching this story, some of my own managers, they were like, there wasn't anything that crazy that happened this year. And sometimes it's like we forget, right? We forget about some of the kind of big weather things that happen. Maybe it's a defense mechanism. Maybe we want to forget, right? Maybe it's like, we have a short-term memory, though, I think, with weather things, especially bad weather things. Sometimes we don't. Of course, it depends on the event. But what I will say is this is a pretty decent recap. If you want to read all about this year, some of the things that made it unique, we started really, really mild with below average snow, kind of similar, honestly, to what we're seeing right now, and what we saw in November for the most part. We had historically low numbers of ice cover on the Great Lakes, specifically for mid-February. We set some records as far as for mid-February, the least amount of ice on the Great Lakes. Then, of course, we had that major ice storm, which I think hands down was probably the biggest weather event of the year for us in Michigan. It was certainly the most costly, certainly the most widespread and impactful across the entire state, really, but especially here across the lower peninsula. So that was a huge deal. And you can watch some of our drone footage from that. We had some decent snow actually in March, funny enough. Many of you, it's funny how many people have, if I bump into people in the public, we had that bomb threat in April at our station, which was not a fun day, very stressful. But we were able to make it on the air, and yours truly had to improvise a little bit. And so I threw that in there purely because so many people in the last year have brought that up. So I feel like it's something that we kind of remembered, and it does kind of tie to the weather because it was a wacky week of weather. We went from 80s, a stretch of 80s in April. It was like an early toast of summer. I remember when we were out there for that, we were sweaty. We were all getting sunburned because we were literally standing in a street and didn't have any sunscreen. So another big thing that happened this year, I could go on and on and on, but the smoky skies, that was a huge deal. We had the worst air quality that's ever been measured in Kalamazoo County, and really all of our area, at least since modern records have been kept. There were numerous days where it was very unhealthy to be outside purely because of the air quality. So that was another one. There were a couple tornadoes. There was an EF1 tornado that touched down in the Colon area, and then another one 5 miles north of downtown Grand Rapids. That one was a bit stronger, did more damage, but fortunately no one was injured in either storm. And then we had that insane lake effect event for Muskegon County on Halloween. We all got snow on Halloween, at least most of us did, but in some variety. But it really like walloped portions of Ottawa, Muskegon County. That was a photo from Fruitport. We also saw some water spouts. So yeah, this is a long article if you couldn't pick up on that. And that's why I want you to go to our website and check it out. And with that, everybody, with that shameless plug, I'm going to wrap up. What's up, Ashley in South Haven? Haven't been to South Haven myself in a minute, Ashley. I need to get back there. The last time I was there, it was going to the Michigan Maritime Museum for a story I was covering, closer to the singing of the Edmund Fitzgerald anniversary. Mike Lewis, amen. Mike's maybe heading to bed. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. I just read your top comment. Hope you have a good New Year's and you and your family. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Christina Smith, what up? Repping the Millwood neighborhood. It's cloudy. We can't see the moon. I know. But soon. If you're farther north, you can. And give it like 2 hours, and you will. All right. I think that's it. Ice Sculpture Fest in February here. I know. I want to go to that. It's a great event in South Haven, Ashley. I may try to convince them to let me do some live weather out there for that. I'm trying, you guys. I want to get out there for Ice Sculpture Fest. There's another Ice Sculpture Fest in Vicksburg that's pretty awesome too. So there's a couple of those. I know. I hope not. You know, Ashley, they have had some freakishly warm years. This probably isn't news to you, but you know, I think they can still have it. It's just those ice sculptures melt, I think, a little quicker, right? So yeah, hopefully it'll be weather true to the event. It'll be a little colder by that point. But anyways, y'all, I got to wrap this up because we got to go do News Channel 3 at 10 on the CW and then catch us on 11 at News Channel 3. And I'll have the forecast. And I'm also, of course, why didn't I say this? So the story I was showing you on the website, we're going to have it in TV format as well, showing you a lot of the video throughout the year, of course. And I'll kind of hit the big ones. Some of them I didn't even touch on just now. So yeah, tune in for that from yours truly, and appreciate you guys. Happy New Year. I actually am off tomorrow and Sunday, which is very, very rare. So I'm happy to be off a little bit, and then I'll be back on New Year's Day. Keith will be holding down the fort tomorrow, and Colin will be back holding down the fort Sunday night. So anyways, we'll keep you updated, and Happy New Year's. This is the last time I'll see you guys before 2024. That's kind of weird. But anyways, I appreciate all of you, and have a great rest of your Friday night.